Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos. And Manchester United currently beat Arsenal by 3 goals to 1 in the FA Cup 4th round yesterday at the Emirates Stadium. Sorry I couldn't do my review yesterday straight after the game. I was drinking all night, so I currently going to be doing it today. So I'm going to give you my match reaction on it. So if you do consider subscribe, and if you do consider drop your likes on the current video. As I said, so now it's potentially 8 wins out of 8 now for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 22 goals scored in the current process. It's looking very, very good now at Manchester United indeed. And I do think now, he's brought the fear factor back to the club now, and he's brought the good times back. He's brought the Alex Ferguson days back to the club as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all currently know. But as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously did confirm before the game that David De Gea wasn't going to be featuring. He did confirm that Sanchez would have been involved, which he was. His name on the score sheet, as well, which was very, very good to see. He also confirmed, that Lukaku could be starting, and Lukaku did start. So he did rotate a bit differently, up front, because we know that Martial and Rashford have been first choice over Lukaku and Sanchez, but it was Lukaku and Sanchez who started up front, as we all currently know. So Solskjaer went, with a 4-3-3. You put Rivera in that. He went with Young at right back. He went with Lindelof, Bailly, Luke Shaw at left back, Herrera, Matic and Pogba in the midfield. And I think Pogba absolutely bossed the midfield. And you put on the left Alexis Sanchez, centrally Lukaku, and put Jesse Lingard on the right, as we all know. But I think we totally deserved it. Played very, very well. I thought we looked very, very good on counter-attack, to be quite honest with you. Arsenal, did have their current chances in the game. They did put effort in, but defensively, Arsenal were totally shambolic in that game. But from an Arsenal perspective, from their perspective, they can't blame the man, June Memre. It's his first season, with Arsenal, because obviously he's inheriting, a bad squad with a bad financial situation, because they have got Stan Kroenke that's not investing any money into the club, and they're not investing any money into the club of Arsenal. So they can't potentially, expect to compete with the likes of, the Cities, the Liverpools, or like us, Manchester United, because we've invested loads of money. Manchester United, City have invested loads of money. Liverpool have invested in the last couple of seasons, as we all know. Chelsea have done well in this January window as well, and Arsenal, this is a transition season for Arsenal, because they can only get loan signings in this January transfer window. So it is only Memre's first season as well. And it's a fantastic victory for us, because Arsenal have done very, very well at the Emirates this season. Prior to this game, I think they'd only lost one game at the Emirates, before this game as well. But so potentially Manchester United took the lead through Alexis Sanchez. Lovely passer from Romelu Lukaku. Sanchez rounded the goalkeeper. Lovely, went round the goalkeeper and finished it off, and that was 1-0. And it's good to see Sanchez get his name on the score sheet. It would against his old team as well. It's quite typical, as we all couldn't know, because it happened in the last FA Cup meeting. Welbeck scored against his former club as well in that game back in 2015 as well. So that was essentially 1-0. 2 minutes later, we went 2-0 up. Again, Lukaku was part to play. Lukaku got 2 assists in the game as well. And I think, Solskjaer has rejuvenated Lukaku's form, and he's rejuvenated Sanchez's form. It's still going to be hard for them to become regulars, in the team, because obviously Martial and Rashford have been mainly the first choice under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all couldn't know. But I thought Sanchez were making good runs. I thought Lukaku were making good runs in the game. And I thought on the counter-attack, we caused Arsenal all sorts of problems. So I think we were quick on the ball. The movement was very, very good for Manchester United. But yeah, the second goal, Lukaku straight past to Lingard in the middle, and lovely finish from Jesse Lingard, and that was 2-0, as I currently said. And then we're all happy, we're all confident, as we all know. And then all of a sudden, Arsenal get themselves, back into the game. Slack defending from Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. Aaron Ramsey, was the architect of that. Aaron Ramsey, he played it through into the box. Lacazette had got the touch, and then it fell to Aubameyang, and that was a simple tap. And I think the Manchester United defence, really should have done better with that. Socrates as well for Arsenal came off with an injury in the first half as well. That, from Arsenal's perspective, that would have lost the confidence in the team and lost their more momentum, when Socrates came off, because obviously Arsenal have got injuries anyway. They've got Hector Bellerin out for the season. Rob Holding as well is out for the season as well. Obviously Welbeck, and that's out as well. And Ozil's future still uncertain with Arsenal, so they have got problems of Arsenal as they all currently know. So Socrates came off in the game. I think Sergio Romero had to make 2 world-class saves. I think one from Lacazette and one from Aaron Ramsey. I think think it was as well. So he made a couple of good saves as well. Did Sergio Romero in the game. But I've just thought, we were much better than them on the counter attack. We looked sharper, we looked well organised, looked very, very energetic. And Pogba's getting the freedom now to express himself as well currently now. And you can see the belief in the team that these players, want to play for this manager. As we all know, the cohesion in the team is right. The structure of the team is totally right. And Solskjaer's got the fluidity back into the team now, as we all currently know. And it's very, very good to see 8 wins out of 8 now. And we should appoint him now as full-time manager, as we all currently know, because he's tactically right. He knows what he's doing, there's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's got the right mentality into the team, as we all currently know. And he knows what he's doing, there's this man. But second half comes, as we all currently know. Arsenal started the second half quite brightly, to be quite honest, but we just looked so very, very good on the counter-attack. I thought Pogba bossed the midfield well. Lukaku I think he got voted man of the match from BBC as well. But as I did say, there was a big, huge debate in the second half. Koscielny reportedly came off the pitch as well. It was like, was it a 5, 6? Was it about 5 or 10 minutes? Koscielny came off in the second half. It was about a 10 minute debate. I think something to do with, did Lukaku put his studs in his face or something like that? But Koscielny had to come off, and then Arsenal obviously brought another substitution on, as we all know. Ozil also came on in the game as well, because obviously he didn't start from the start, and he hasn't been starting regular this season for Arsenal, so Ozil came off. So there was a debate. Koscielny must have been down for like 5 or 10 minutes, and that's why 10 minutes stoppage time was put on at the end of the game, as we all currently know. But yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought some substitutions on. He brought Martial on and brought Rashford on for Sanchez and Lukaku, and Jones came on later on in the game for Jesse Lingard as well. But Martial came off the bench and got the third goal to kill the game off. But I thought Pogba was fantastic in that midfield, cut Arsenal wide open in that midfield. As I said, he was a part to play, for the third goal. Pogba ran through the midfield, had the shot, Petr Cech saved it, Martial runs in and then kills the game off, and that makes it 3-1, as we all currently know. But I thought, in the game, I thought Lindelof played very, very well. I think Lindelof's dramatically improved this season. I think his passing looks very, very good. I think Ander Herrera did well in the midfield. I think Matic played well as well. Lukaku played well because obviously he got 2 assists as well. Alexis Sanchez, good to see him get his name on the score sheet. And I think the likes of Sanchez and Lukaku will improve under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think, Sanchez, played very, very well. He was making good runs, scored a goal as well. And, he's been struggling, to find form this season, Alexis Sanchez, but he hasn't really been given a chance because obviously he's had a couple of injuries this season, as we all currently know. Maybe there's still key areas in the team we need to strengthen up. We needed probably a right back because Ashley Young's past it now, as people are saying. Probably still need a strong central defender. Probably still need a strong central defender. Maybe need a centre defensive midfielder as well. That's fast and tenacious. But overall, good performance. Thought it was end-to-end stuff. But, on the counter-attack, we were just so much better than them. They did have their efforts. They did have the chances. But defensively, they were lacking at the back. And there were no disciplinary, in their back line. And defensively, Arsenal were poor. So potentially now, top 4. We're definitely in for the top 4 this season. As I currently said. We can win the FA Cup now. And what a remarkable achievement that would be if Solskjaer could win the FA Cup and get us top 4 this season. As we all know, that would definitely be a remarkable achievement, as I said. But yeah, it was goals from Sanchez. Lukaku got the assist. Goal, Lingard, Lukaku assist, and the third goal, Anthony Martial, as I currently said. But yeah, very, very good performance from Manchester United. But you can see we're playing in the right manner, the right vein, and this is all down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he did say he wanted the team to express themselves, and get them enjoying football again, and that's exactly, what Solskjaer's doing. We're playing in numbers, as we all currently know. We're getting, full-back side up the pitch, central defenders galloping high up the pitch as well. But I thought the game, was played at a fast pace. I'm too quite honest with you, but I thought we played very, very well, to be quite honest with you, and really, really deserved it because we were quicker on the ball, fast on the ball, as passing was good, as movement was much quicker than Arsenal's, as we all know. But potentially, from Arsenal's perspective, they know where their problems lie. So potentially, from their perspective, they hope they can get maybe 1 or 2 loan signings before this January transfer window ends. It's not long before the window ends, as they have currently confirmed. But as I did currently say, obviously, we're still recruiting to get a director of football into the club, as we all currently know. But as I did say, I think, Solskjaer's going to be the favourite now, to get the job on a full-time basis. he's going to be the favourite now to get the job on a full-time basis. But he knows the chaplains of the club, he knows the culture of the club, and he knows the club inside out. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's won trophies because he's watched some of these players go and develop in the reserve team, and as a player, he won trophies as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I do think potentially, he is the right man, to be quite honest with you, because we've been playing catch up for the last 5 seasons. To be quite honest with you, we've had 3 managers, since Alex Ferguson's gone. But I think the confidence is back in the team now, and Solskjaer's got the team motivated, which is good to see. And we've only won 4 trophies since Alex Ferguson's gone, so I think potentially now we've beat Arsenal. We've got a great chance of winning the FA Cup. Arsenal currently the holders at the moment with 13, we're on 12. But I think we can, win it this season and get a top 4 finish. That would be fantastic. But from an Arsenal perspective, they've only got the Europa League, to go for now this season, because they're not in the League Cup. They're out of the FA Cup now. They're not going to win the title, obviously, not in the Champions League. So their only hopes this season is, from their perspective, winning the Europa League is Arsenal's, which maybe I can't see them doing, because obviously Chelsea is still in there as well. Yeah, so we are, but obviously there's been talks that we're still recruiting a director of football to come in. I do think it's obviously going to be unlikely that we're now going to make any signings, to be quite honest, we're in this January transfer window. Solskjaer said he doesn't expect us to make any signings. He said he doesn't expect us to make any signings, said it's unlikely we'll make any signings, but obviously we're looking to recruit a director of football in. There's been talks of Pochettino coming in the end of the season. Why would we want Pochettino? Pochettino's a good manager who's good at developing young players, and he's been managing since 2009, but Tottenham investment's been very, very poor since 2014, as we all know, since Pochettino coming, because they've only spent 50 million. Now Tottenham have got problems because they've got Harry Kane injured, and they've got Dele Alli injured, and Son, he's on international duty. Well, I think he's set to come back now, his son, to be quite honest with you. But as I did say, he's a good manager, Pochettino, but he's never won out in terms of silverware as a manager. I think he's won over 100 odd games with Tottenham, and he has got a good record with Tottenham. And he signed a 5-year deal last summer with Tottenham. He had a good record at Southampton as well. Did Mauricio Pochettino, and he does understand the Premier League as we all currently know. And we know he has been our number one, target, for a long, long time as Mauricio Pochettino. But I think he's really, really happy at Tottenham, and he's fully committed to Tottenham, to quite honest with you. But I'd rather keep Solskjaer on a full-time basis, because he's a proven winner. He's won trophies as a player, as I currently said, and he knows what he's doing at this club, as I said. And obviously, we know the club is still, looking for the director of football, before we do commit to any future signings. But obviously, we've got a board, that will invest, of what Solskjaer currently wants into the team, and he's currently, there's been a few transfer targets he has been interested in, as we all currently know. But saying about the director of football, we know that, Paul Mitchell's been mentioned. I think a few other candidates have been mentioned as well. I think, what's his name now? Andrea Beretta or something like that, however you pronounce his name. He's Atletico Madrid sporting director. Reportedly, Manchester United being interested in hiring him in. Reportedly, Ed Woodward's number one target is Paul Mitchell, to fulfill that director of football role at Manchester United. But reportedly, this Atletico Madrid sporting director has been mentioned. I can't remember his name. I think it's Andrea Beretta or something like that. He's Atletico Madrid sporting director. But reportedly, Atletico Madrid reportedly want to get him to a new deal, reportedly, and offer him a bigger role at the club. But reportedly he's bought players into Atletico Madrid. He was responsible for the likes of Griezmann and Falcao and John Blanc. And who else was he responsible for? Diego Costa, I think, as well. So he has brought a few players into that Atletico Madrid team as this, sporting director. He's not a favourite, but he's been mentioned. He's I think he's responsible for bringing a few Atletico Madrid players in as well. I think he's previously been at Girona, something like that. But I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. But reportedly, he's the key to Atletico Madrid's success as recent. He potentially, won the La Liga then 2014, got them to the Champions League final a couple of times. Did this Andrea Beretta as well. Don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. But reportedly, Manchester United have been interested in hiring him in, reportedly. But yeah, we'll see what happens about that. And we know that Paul Mitchell's been mentioned as well. I think he's Ed Woodward's number one, to be quite honest with you, because obviously, Paul Mitchell's worked for Pochettino in the past when he was head of recruitment at Tottenham and Southampton, and Paul Mitchell's born in Manchester, and he was actually responsible for the signings of Dele Alli, Toby Alderweireld, and the likes of Dejan Lovren and Sadio Mane and all that was Paul Mitchell. Reportedly, RP Leipzig want to try and offer him a new contract. To offer him a bigger role at the club, Paul Mitchell. But he's reportedly, being Ed Woodward's #1 target. But now this Atletico Madrid sporting director has been mentioned. Atletico want to keep him. They're in talks to sign him a new contract. But he's head of recruitment at Atletico Madrid. And reportedly, he has got the experience, as I currently said, and he's responsible for the signings of Griezmann and Diego Costa and Falcao and Jordan Blanc, as I currently said. So he's responsible for that. Is this sporting director reportedly? As I said. But yeah, we are still looking to hire a director of footballer to come into the club, as we all know. But yeah, Solskjaer the right man for me, as we all know. And I think he can elevate us to that higher level now. I think he can command us in that position, want to be in. Get a couple of signings probably, this summer, to be quite honest with you, and get us back up there challenging with the likes of City and Liverpool and get us back to winning a major, get us back to winning major honours, as we all currently know. Maybe we are still at least a year off the league because potentially we do need a couple of signings, in that team, as we all know. As I did say, I do think, players will still leave Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. Ashley Young, obviously first choice right back, being playing regularly that right back this season. Obviously, there's been no signing of his yet signing an extension on his contract. Whether Ashley Young stays or goes or not, I do not know. He's 32, 33 now. He's been a good servant over the years, for us as Ashley Young. He has been here, since 2011, as we all currently know, and won everything here. As I said, apart from the Champions League, of course, as I did currently say. So maybe Ashley Young may go as well, but I think we do need someone on that right hand side because, as you see, all our attack is coming from that left hand side, as we all know. Also, too, Paul Pogba's brothers come out in the media saying if he is to leave Manchester United, he will go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. This is what I think he said Real Madrid or Barcelona. He said, but Paul Pogba's been absolutely fantastic under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As I said, he's getting the freedom to express himself. He's creating, he's scoring goals, he's providing. As I currently said, but he's an absolutely world class player. Is Paul Pogba, as we all currently know. The difference is that Arsenal have got Xhaka and we've got Paul Pogba. Potentially, there's a big difference there, as I said. And he's a world class central midfielder, is Paul Pogba, because he proved it when he had 4 fantastic years with Juventus. Did Pogba as well, but he's got good physical attributes. I know we wasn't getting the best out of him under Mourinho because we know Pogba didn't want to play under Mourinho. The team didn't want to play under Mourinho. Pogba obviously wants to play for this manager. So now, within this month or so, we've had Solskjaer. He's getting the best out of the team, as we all know. And hopefully we can get Paul Pogba to a new contract, as he was demanding that he did want a new contract. Paul Pogba, same with, Juan Mata. I know he didn't play yesterday, but we've been in talks of getting him a new 1-year contract extension at the club as well. Juan Mata. Reportedly, there's been a few teams interested in getting him. I think Barcelona have made negotiations with his representatives. I think Arsenal have inquired about getting him on a free transfer as well. Who else? I think Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain have reportedly been interested in Juan Mata as well. But he's been very, very consistent, since he's been here, Juan Mata, as I currently said. And Juan Mata, I still think he's a very, very good player. Obviously, we're only going to be willing to give him a 12-month extension if he is to sign this new contract extension, considering, that he's 30 years of age, Juan Mata. But reportedly, a few teams have expressed of interest in. But Premier League proven, being in the Premier League a lot of years, he won everything apart from the Premier League, and that's the only thing, he hasn't won, as we all know. But reportedly, Arsenal have showed an interest in because Unai Emery's worked for him in the past, when obviously Juan Mata was a lot younger in his prime, as we all know. But I think we're on the brink of getting Martial and De Gea new contracts as well, as it did confirm, because obviously Solskjaer said contract negotiations were progressing, as he did say, and he said he's hoping to hear some good news in the next couple of weeks, regarding Martial and De Gea's signing new contracts, as he did confirm. Martial's on the brink of signing a 5-year deal. I think it's going to be worth around £150,000 a week, or something like that. But Martial's been absolutely fantastic this season, to be quite fair. He's been really, really good indeed, as Anthony Martial, as he said. But yeah, he's going to sign this new deal because he wanted to, he suggested to his agent that he wanted to negotiate a new deal. But yeah, Martial is going to sign a new deal, which is good, because there was strong speculation of him leaving last summer because he had a bad relationship, with Jose Mourinho. as we all know, and he signed a 12-month extension on his current contract last year, Martial, so he's going to be signing a new contract. So too is De Gea, as we all know, didn't play yesterday, wasn't in contention. Don't know, not too sure why, but obviously confirmed he wasn't going to be featuring for the Arsenal game. But David De Gea, as I said, very, very good goalkeeper, best goalkeeper in the world, made over 300 appearances in all competitions since he's been here, as we all know. Obviously, we activated a 12-month extension on his current contract last year as well. Obviously, but he's on the brink of signing a new deal. I think he's demanding that he wants around £300,000 a week. David De Gea, if he's to sign this new deal, as I said. But De Gea has committed his long-term future with Manchester United, as we all currently know. But yeah, we have got players coming to end of the contracts, as we all currently know, and I think we will sort this out, to be quite honest with you. Hopefully somewhere along the line we can get Rashford a new deal at the club as well. His current contract ends in 2020. I thought Rashford was fantastic, when he came on as well. But yeah, good to see Martial come off the bench, and get his name on the score sheet yet again, as I said. But to be fair, when I saw the lineup, I thought, we ain't got De Gea in net, with the quality of Aubameyang and Lacazette that have been scoring goals, this season very, very well for Arsenal. I thought, they could have, tested him a bit more. I think Sergio Romero had to make two world-class saves, as I said. But Sanchez started in the front, started up front. Lukaku started up front because they've been struggling to get in the team, as we all know, because they are falling down. They're falling down the pecking order to the likes of Martial and Rashford, as we all know, of Sanchez and Lukaku. But to be quite fair, Lukaku and Sanchez proven their point. Chester Lukaku getting 2 assists. Sanchez getting his name on the score sheet, as I said as well. I thought Juan Mata would have been in contention, to be quite honest with you. He put Lingard ahead of him, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I felt what killed Arsenal's momentum, because I think Arsenal do look good, going forward. They can attack Arsenal, but I think defensively they're just terribly poor, as we all know. And they have, got problems of Arsenal. Socrates is probably their best defender at the moment. He had to come off in the game, as I said, and that basically killed Arsenal's momentum, as I said. For Arsenal, I thought Ramsey still put a good performance in, to be quite fair. He was a part to play, for their goal, Aaron Ramsey, and he's been a very, very good player, for Arsenal, as Aaron Ramsey, to be quite honest with you. Arsenal obviously letting him leave to Juventus, I think, on a free transfer in the summer, as it's been agreed. He's going to be the second highest paid player when he goes to Juventus this summer. He's going to be this summer, Aaron Ramsey is going to be going. But I thought he's a very, very good box-to-box midfielder. I think he's grown and developed, very, very well. He's been at Arsenal, 10 years or so now, something like that. And, a very, very good player, made over 300 appearances. I thought, he was a part to play, for their goal, yesterday, Aaron Ramsey. But I thought Ramsey played well. I thought he would, put a good performance in for Arsenal as well. There was only a couple of players, that, for me, in my opinion, as a United fan, talking about Arsenal, I thought there were only a couple of their players, that played well, to be quite honest. But their goal, we should have defended it better, to be quite honest with you, because Aaron Ramsey, he was a part to play. It came through. I thought we should have defended it. I think Lacazette got a slight touch on it, but then Aubameyang, had an easier tap in. And Aubameyang's been playing very, very well, this season, for Arsenal, to be quite fair. But yeah, and obviously Koscielny, coming off in the second half as well. That was a bad blow to Arsenal as well. That must have been. I was watching the game. That must have been 10 minutes. I was looking at that, and everyone was waiting. It was 10 minutes, and that was a 10-minute debate, and that's where the 10-minute stoppage time come from. At the end of the game, as I currently said. As I said, Arsenal, Ozil's future's uncertain. Umremme has been coming out in the press saying he's looking to sell him off to raise some funds. This is what Mesut Ozil said. This is what Umremme said, and he actually demanded Mesut Ozil to leave. Didn't start again, because Ozil struggled for first team football this season. He's been in and out of the team. He's had quite a few injury problems. As Mesut Ozil, as I said, potentially there's strong speculation of him, leaving. He may not leave, but from Arsenal's perspective, they may want to sort that out, as confirmed. So I think reportedly Inter Milan have reportedly been interested in Mesut Ozil, reportedly as well. But yeah, Arsenal obviously, still linked with quite a few players, because Umremme, obviously Arsenal got financial restrictions. Arsenal still want to, get a couple of players into their squad. He's looking to get a couple of loan signings, because you can see that Arsenal need a central defender. They do need a winger, because they're the two areas that Umremme has identified that he does need to strengthen up.
We know potentially one of the main priority targets has been Barcelona's Denis Suarez. Potentially that deal now looks in jeopardy, as I've already confirmed to you, because it did confirm the other day in the press that talks between Arsenal and Barcelona had reportedly broken down because Arsenal were refusing to commit to a permanent deal, for Denis Suarez. So it's looking likely now he's going to stay at Barcelona. He's got his current contract ending 2020 with Barcelona. As I said, and reportedly, Barcelona said they wanted him to sign a contract extension, before he joined Arsenal on loan. I think Arsenal actually agreed to, to pay the loan fee, which was around £2 million, and maybe have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer by paying just under 20 million. Arsenal have been in negotiations with representatives. Arsenal have been in negotiations with Barcelona over this. Barcelona obviously been playing hardball over this, and early on, as it did say, the Barcelona president did promise, Denis Suarez a move to the Emirates. As it did confirm, because Denis Suarez wants to reunite with Rooney, as he has confirmed. He's 25, he's versatile, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play centrally, as I said, and also maybe would seem as a good replacement, for the likes of Aaron Ramsey, as we all know, but that's been their number one target, as Arsenal's, as Denis Suarez, and, the narrative about this has been going on a long time, and of what I've been hearing about it, it were looking likely, Arsenal were going to get him on the board, he was dropped out of the Barcelona squad the other day, as well, was Denis Suarez. But now it does look in jeopardy because Arsenal refused, to commit to a permanent deal. This is what stopped talks between Arsenal and Barcelona. And obviously, Barcelona got Kevin Prince brought in as well. So you thought they would have softened the stance, regarding that, because Barcelona have got too many midfielders, in their squad. But obviously, as the reports are coming out yesterday, as I did update you on a bit of what was going on with Arsenal's transfer rumours to update you with. They've been interested in this Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku, however you pronounce his name, is a Paris Saint-Germain midfielder, as I said, 21 years of age, as I said. France Football reportedly were coming out of the press saying that Arsenal had been in negotiations with Paris Saint-Germain reportedly. Currently, he hasn't been a regular this season, as this Christopher Nkunku, and reportedly he's keen on reuniting with Rooney because he's worked for him previously. Umeme has worked with Christopher Nkunku previously, when Umeme obviously was Paris Saint-Germain manager as a France under-21 international, this Christopher Nkunku, but they're seeing him now as an alternative for Denis Suarez. But reports are coming out of the media yesterday saying that Christopher Nkunku is actually keen on making the move to Arsenal. Reportedly, the PSG boss Thomas Tuchel, however you pronounce his name, he confirmed he was willing. He confirmed he agreed to let him go to Arsenal on loan, this player, because Arsenal have obviously inquired about getting this Christopher Nkunku on loan. As I said, reportedly Thomas Tuchel agreed to let him join Arsenal on loan as long as Paris Saint-Germain can reportedly get replacements. As I said, but he's only 21 years of age, hasn't been irregular this season as we all know, and he's keen on reuniting with Rooney as his player. Arsenal have inquired about getting him on a 6-month loan and then maybe making the deal permanent in the summer by paying around £17 million for this Christopher Nkunku. Don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. Never really heard of him, as I said. But reportedly it says Arsenal have been interested in him, so Arsenal could get a deal over the line for him, before this January transfer window ends, as I said. But Arsenal have been in negotiations with Paris Saint-Germain over it. PSG have got Verratti injured at the moment. Obviously, Adrien Rabiot is obviously going to be leaving. He comes to an end of his contract in the summer. Whether he leaves in this January window or in the summer, I do not know. Reportedly, it's been looking likely he's going to be joining Barcelona, Adrien Rabiot. But reportedly now, there may be a change of circumstance because obviously Barcelona have just signed Frankie de Jong from Ajax for 65 million. So whether Adrien Rabiot goes or not, I do not know. But obviously he's out of favour now at PSG. But as I did say, with the Christopher Nkunku situation, PSG have obviously, they're on the brink of getting Zenit St. Petersburg's Leandro Paredes, as we all know. Leandro Paredes, as I did currently say, it's been looking likely we're going to Chelsea at one point. Media reports coming out the other week saying, that Chelsea had agreed personal terms and had agreed a contract for the player because Chelsea had been in negotiations with Zenit St. Petersburg over this because obviously Chelsea want a replacement for Fabregas. But it's not turned out like that. Potentially now PSG have held negotiations. I think PSG have agreed a fee with Zenit for around £36 million, whatever it is. I think he's going to sign a 4.5-year deal with Paris Saint-Germain. He's Leandro Paredes. Zenit got him from Roma for £24 million, as we all currently know. It's looking likely Leandro Paredes is going to be going to PSG, as we all know. So that's obviously one of their replacements. As I said, but it was looking likely, you know, he was going to go to Chelsea, as I did currently say. It was looking likely he was going to go to Chelsea, but obviously it's looking likely now he's going to Paris. He's leaving Paredes. But yeah, we know other Arsenal's targets, you know, they've been interested in as well. We know, I think they've inquired, you know, they have inquired about the possibility of James Rodriguez as well, because obviously he's on a 2-year loan with Bayern Munich. He's got 6 months left on his current loan. Bayern have the option to make the deal permanent this summer, but I don't think they're gonna. I think James Rodriguez is gonna go back to Real Madrid, and I think then Real Madrid are paying to sell him off. Arsenal inquired about getting him on loan for around £3 million, I think, or something like that. But the last time I heard about it, according to the Spanish outlet, reportedly, you know, Real Madrid were planning, you know, to, you know, use Rodriguez, in their plans, you know, to get Christian Eriksen from Tottenham, because Real Madrid have been, you know, interested in Christian Eriksen, as we all currently know. So that could be in jeopardy for Arsenal as well. So yeah, there has been, you know, there has been a few targets, you know, where they have been interested in, as we all currently know, but they're in a bad financial situation. They've got an owner that doesn't invest any money into the club, and they are, you know, when Unai came in, you know, you can't blame Unai because it is his first season with Arsenal, and I think he's done well to say it's his first season. You know, he came in, he came in, he inherited an average squad. You know, he knows they've got bad financial situations as well, and he did go on a 22-match unbeaten run earlier on in the season as well. So from Arsenal's perspective, you know, he does deserve credit for that. It is on his first season, and then obviously, you know, it's a transition season for Unai. But then when the summer comes, from his perspective, he'll hope he can invest in, he can spend some money and get the, you know, players that Arsenal need, as I currently said, because, you know, obviously they have got good players in their team, but they haven't got like the quality like, you know, our squad Manchester United's got. They haven't got the quality like, you know, the likes of Liverpool, because they've invested in the last couple of seasons, or, you know, Chelsea, who've done very, very well in this January transfer window as well, as I said. But yeah, very, very good result for Manchester United, as I said. And I'd say that's Arsenal's worst performance of the season, you know, this season, especially at the Emirates, as I said. That's probably just, you know, they got hammered at Liverpool early on this season by 5-1 as well. You know, they lost at home to Tottenham in the League Cup. You know, lost Manchester City at the beginning of the season 2-0, so they don't have a good they have a bad record against the top teams, though Arsenal, as we all know. You know, but this Man United Arsenal, what did I say in my preview? I said it's not. I said Ferguson and Wenger. This was the match. This was the biggest match. You know, in Premier League in English football. You know, when Ferguson was managing us and when Wenger was managing then. Obviously, two longest serving managers. Obviously they were in English football. As I said. But then I said after that, you know, it went downhill. It wasn't the fixture it used to be. As I said. But what I said in my preview is it's Unai now against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I did say it's going to be a different kettle of fish, as we all know. And I did say we was going to be up for the task, and I did actually say 3-1 Manchester United. I actually said 3-1, and I actually won on that bet because I put it on. I put 3-1 on. I put £5 on, and I got £105 return. And I was absolutely buzzing about that, to be quite honest. But I'm sure I said 3-1 in my prediction in the game. But saying about Lukaku, and as I was saying, you know, Lukaku, I said he's slow, and I've got, you know, reservations about him. I said he doesn't fit, you know, he doesn't complement our front line, because as I did say, Martial and Rashford and Lingard have got pace. Lukaku, but I did say the brilliance of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is rejuvenating Lukaku's form, and I think Lukaku is improving, you know, and I think he will flourish under Solskjaer, and I think Sanchez, you know, as well, you know, will flourish under Solskjaer. I really, really do think he'll flourish under Solskjaer. Maybe there were, you know, regular opportunities, you know, from the start. Will Sanchez and Romelu Lukaku, because obviously Martial and Rashford are ahead of them, as we all currently know. So they will maybe find it hard to become regulars in the team, you know, from the start, Lukaku and Sanchez. But I tell you what, they're proving their point yesterday. Lukaku and Sanchez, I thought they made good runs. Lukaku made good runs. Sanchez made good runs. As I currently said, Pogba totally bossed the midfield. As I said, Pogba really, really good in that midfield. His movement was good. I thought we was quicker on the ball. I thought we were very, very precise on the ball as well. And I thought, you know, Paul Pogba's passing was good. I thought he was feeding, you know, the likes of Lukaku well and Sanchez well and Lingard well, as I said. But, you know, the movement of like Lingard and, you know, Sanchez and, you know, Lukaku caused Arsenal's defence all sorts of problems. And potentially, you know, it's the simple as that, as I currently said. But yeah, as I did say, we are still looking to hire a director of football to come into the club. As I did say, with obviously number one, Ed Woodward's number one is Paul Mitchell, as we all know, as he has confirmed. But we know a few other names have been mentioned. As I said, he got mentioned as well, as I said earlier on in the video, from Atletico Madrid sporting director. I can't remember his full name. I'll have to, look it up again. But reportedly he's at Atletico Madrid, as I said. It's called Andrea something like that. But yeah, reportedly he's key, to Atletico Madrid's recent success. As I said, winning the La Liga with them and getting them to a couple of Champions League finals. Getting key players, at Atletico Madrid as well, and he has, potentially, got experience as his sporting director. So yeah. So essentially, as I said, I do think, players, could still be leaving Manchester United, as I said. Probably Valencia may leave in the summer as well, because obviously he's hardly played this season. He's obviously no longer first choice right back, and he's now 33. But he's been a good servant over the years, because he has been here, 10 years now, as Antonio Valencia. I maybe think, Jones and Smalling probably be gone next season as well. Who else? I think Darmian will be gone as well. Reportedly, a few Italian teams are interested in him. I think we've extended a current 1-year extension on his contract, so I do think, Darmian will be leaving. I think Manning Fellaini will be going as well. He's out 3 to 4 weeks, as we all know, he's Manning Fellaini. I do see him going to quite honestly. Reportedly, a few teams have been interesting, but I don't see how he fits in this new regime, Manchester United. So I do think, he will be going as well, Manning Fellaini. Who else? And yeah, so I do think there will be players going. Hopefully, somewhere along the line we can get Herrera a new contract, because I've been very, very impressed with Herrera. He's been much more of a regular, since Solskjaer's coming. I think he complements our midfield well. He's playing a bigger part in the team. He's under Herrera, so I have been very, very impressed with him, as I currently has said. But yeah, we've got a great chance of winning the FA Cup now this season. Be interesting to see who we get in the 5th round the FA Cup. But 22 goals scored now. 8 wins out of 8, as we all know. Can we possibly, make it to 10, 15, 20? Who knows? Let's not get too carried away. But as I said, I think Solskjaer is the right man. He has that winning mentality. He doesn't rest on his laurels. As I said, he shows that inspiration on the touchline. As I said, there's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he's tactically right. He's lined up to right, as we all know. And he was mentioning he was going to give everybody the chance. Don't forget, he was going to be rotating. And he did rotate a little bit yesterday. So we did make a few changes, because Bay coming to the team. Obviously De Gea wasn't there, so Romero, took his place. Lukaku and Sanchez, coming to the team from the start as well, and they were very, very impressive indeed. But the difference was we just looked very, very good on the counter attack. I thought we totally controlled, the midfield as well, with Pogba, and Arsenal, couldn't match that. And Arsenal, to be fair, they did have their chances. They put effort in, because they tackled there. I think Arsenal are a very, very good team attacking them, but it's just the defence that lets them down, and they have got injury problems of Arsenal as well. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. Like to know your opinions on the game. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care.